Age.
21.
Christian. Exactly what it says on the tin. Esoteric. I feel like esoteric is a word that could describe me well. Either that, or I'm just very inconsistent with what I like and don't like. Autism. I think it should be pretty obvious that I give off autistic vibes. Maybe not in my videos, but certainly if you know me in real life, or if you see me in real life. Baldi's Basics. Ah yes, the game that basically started my career. As a little bit of a side note, Baldi's Basics is going to be turning 7 years old in a few days, as of me recording this video. Personality. In my notes about my personality, I wrote down a big heart, a big chunk of protective, esoterically inconsistent, and a lot of Bluebell's mint chocolate chip ice cream. I also thought I'd add that in real life, I'm very chill. I'm not really the type of person to overreact to stuff. Just don't try and push my buttons, and we'll be cool. Fruitiger Arrow. I was a 2000s kid, so that means I was very fortunate to grow up with the Fruitiger Arrow style, of that glossy, futuristic look. Fruitiger Arrow is what I believed, and what probably a lot of other kids like me believed would be the future. Shiny, futuristic cities, lots of green grass, crystal clear blue skies. But now, the future is here, and it is way worse than we thought. Or at least, that's how I look at it, as someone who's just feels rather down a lot. I was just one of those cases of being very happy when I was a kid, and then as an adult, I'm just cripplingly depressed and lonely. Autism symbol preference. So, if any autistic people are watching this might sound like a very hot take, and if I offend you in any way, then I'm sorry, but I just gotta speak my mind on this. Personally, and yes, that's a big personally, I prefer the puzzle piece instead of the infinity symbol or ribbon. I'm certain that statement might have set some people off, but let me explain myself. I prefer the puzzle piece because it can be used to make much better designs. The infinity symbol is just a sideways 8, and the ribbon is just a very curved line. And personally, I don't see the puzzle piece as offensive. I'd actually take the puzzle piece as a compliment to people like me. Will there be autistic people that find it offensive? Sure, yeah. But let's be honest, in this day and age, anyone will get offended about anything. I'm just laying out my thoughts in this video, so please don't shoot the messenger. Storyteller/writer. One thing that I've been very interested in recently, and something that I've been really wanting to get good at, is writing, and also storytelling. You can also lob in game development for this part of the video. I may not like books, but I do love hearing about stories, like fantasy stories, stuff that's unusual and just fantastical. I would definitely love to write my own book someday, but I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes. Height. If you ever wanted to know how tall I am, I'm roughly 5'7.5". Although I haven't really measured myself a lot lately, so it might be above or below that. Baldi's Basics Plus, Seed 9 to the 9. Now this video is what pinned me to the map. Like, this is one of my most popular videos as of now. I would just like to say thank you to anyone who watched that video and helped it grow. If it wasn't for that video and your guys' support, then I probably wouldn't be in this position today. Wizey Extra Pieces. This is a shameless plug, but I do have a second channel that doesn't have that much on it, but you can look that up if you want. C#. So for anyone who doesn't know, C# is a programming language. I'm assuming its primary use is to make stuff like video games. And obviously, my first interaction with it was because of Baldi's Basics. I also have much more familiarity with C# than every other programming language, so I'd much rather stick with C#. Doom. One video game series that I've been interested in lately is Doom. I see Doom as not just a good adrenaline rush, but I also see it as the ultimate male power fantasy. You know, being this powerful, unstoppable badass. And I also can't wait for Doom the Dark Ages. It's coming out this May. Baldi's Basics anti-piracy version. I'm not really sure why, but I feel like this video in particular gets a lot of comments. Like more than usual. Twitter, Reddit, and Game Banana. I'd much rather lump all these three together instead of talking about them individually. You know, I used to have a Twitter, but obviously since then I've deleted it for the sake of my own mental health and sanity. I also have a Reddit account that's kind of a thing now. And if you'd like to check out my other Baldi mods, you can go check out my Game Banana. Different Wizey designs. So for this entry, I'll have it be a slideshow presentation of a lot of Wizey's designs over the years. Biblical/Shakespearean English. Something that I'd like to do while working on my vocabulary is adding more biblical English and Shakespearean style English to my lexicon, especially because Gen Z and Gen Alpha have come up with slang that doesn't even sound like proper English or any other language for that matter. I just want to stand out for my fancy use of English. The story of Wizey. Oh boy, this video. Looking back on it now, that video is kind of just me trauma dumping about high school and just how bad it was. To be honest, I feel like I could have made this video a bit more structured and have a bit more substance to it, but I can't really change it, so I guess you could go watch that if you want, but expect some very dated audio quality. Wizey's House Remastered. This was a rather old Baldi fan game that I tried to make, but like with a lot of my other projects, it was very ambitious, and so I just got burnt out of it really quickly, and then I just scrapped it. Maybe I'll revisit that idea in the future, but we'll just have to wait and see. Duke. Duke was the name of my bearded dragon that I had several years ago. I think me and my family first got him in 2014, but then he ended up passing away in either 2019 or 2020. I think he passed away due to having some kind of internal problems or some kind of illness. But yeah, Duke was a very chill bearded dragon, and I still miss him very much. AI covers. There were a few times in the past where I've tried to make my own AI covers of songs. Some of them did turn out pretty good, but I think others turned out kinda bad. But either way, that phase of my life is behind me, and I'd much rather strive to make good rewatchable content instead of just trash, one-off things. I need your help videos. So these were some older videos that I made asking for help, with stuff like editing and stuff like that. But sadly, nobody really answered the call. But since then, I have found people that have helped me, so that's cool. But I'm still kind of looking for people to help me with more stuff. So if you'd like to help me with stuff, then you can try and reach out to me. I can listen. The Lost series. This was a really old series that I tried to make, but essentially it was 4 episodes of not only very bad mic quality, but also very minimal research into the topics that I was talking about in those videos. Privated/deleted videos. Yeah, I do have a lot of deleted videos. I think at one point my channel had over 500 videos, but now it's at 317, I think. But the privated videos are now unlisted and are in a playlist that you can find in the description. So if you really wanted to look at all 90 of those previously privated videos, then you could. I'm not gonna stop you. High school. I thought I'd finally go into a little bit more detail about my high school days. So the first half of 9th grade, from what I can remember, was pretty good. My classes were good, my teachers were good for the most part, and not only would Baldi's Basics release that year, but something else got popular that year that I, for some reason, just was glued to, and that game being Fortnite. Nowadays, I have a lot of bad views of Fortnite, but back when I was in 9th grade, it was very popular at the time, and for whatever reason, I was just addicted to it. I don't know why my autistic brain decided to hyperfixate on that game, but you know, whatever happened in the past happened. I can also remember that me and my really only in-person friend would get together almost every day and play the game. Am I nostalgic for that time? Well, looking at the world today, I'd say absolutely. But regardless, that time of my life is over, and I was kind of getting off topic here. But anyways, the second half of 9th grade was really when stuff started to go downhill. I'm not going to get into anything super specific, but I was definitely very depressed during that time. The first half of 10th grade was also a pretty bad start. I can also remember that on the first night of 10th grade, I essentially cried myself to sleep. And on that night, I prayed. I prayed to God, and I told him to please make this year better. And he did. So the first half of 10th grade was during 2020. Of course, that's when the whole world essentially shut down for a little while. And to be honest, I thought that virtual learning was pretty cool, especially for introverts like me. But other than that, it was kind of uneventful, and 11th and 12th grade were both back in person, and I wore a mask during that time. My only real mindset in 11th and 12th grade was just to get through high school. Like, me and my parents thought just get through it, and then you'll be good. And thankfully, I made it through. Not in one piece by any means, but I made it out in multiple pieces. Bipolar. Easily the worst thing about my mind is that I am rather bipolar. Essentially meaning that my mood can change from happy to sad or to angry really fast, just in the blink of an eye. Thankfully, I have been on medication for a while that'll really help me get through bipolar and just make it a bit less extreme, but it does still pop up from time to time. Delusional, or all in my head. So, as the world has gotten more chaotic and just more overly sensitive and extreme, I've more so just been retreating further and further into my mind, and into the realm of fiction as a whole. You know, pre-2020, I would have thought that people over-obsessing about fiction were just kind of strange, but nowadays, I kind of understand why people obsess over fiction. I think mostly because fictional stuff is much more eventful and more exciting than real life. Self-proclaimed boomer. This is kind of a joke entry, but I think of myself as rather old, even though I'm only 21. I'm just more intrigued by stuff like older architecture and older cars and just older stuff in general, especially because more modern stuff, more digital stuff can just be completely erased without warning at any moment. Whereas with physical stuff, you get to keep that physically forever. So yes, you can call me a boomer all you want. I don't really mind. Thoughts about the modern world. Man, I think if I were to list off every single one of my complaints about the modern world, then we'd probably be here for hours, and I'd probably just be here ranting nonsense, just completely uncut, just me spilling out all of my thoughts on the page. But all I'm gonna say about that as of now is just AI trash, Twitter trash, politics doo-doo, and also streaming services just need to go. I can still remember a time back when Netflix and Hulu were really the only subscription services people ever cared about, but now there's just too many of them. There's a lot that just needs to be purged. Faux nostalgia. I also just want to do a quick little rant about nostalgia. One thing that I really hate is companies that just continue to nostalgia bait its consumers. It's just a quick and scumbaggy way to make a whole bunch of money, instead of making something new and original and might potentially pop off. Plus, I'm also completely sick and tired of 90s and 80s nostalgia. I'm just so tired of all these millennials' secondhand nostalgia. Personally, my preferred nostalgia is Frutiger Arrow, since I grew up during that era, and it's just a much better vision of the future, as I said earlier. But it was the future that we were promised but never received. Mickey. So long before I created the Wizey/wise guy persona, I think this was the first part of my channel's history. It was just a very weird and lazy attempt at making horror stuff. But yeah, that part of my channel is very ancient and is just been completely forgotten about. And I'm fine with that. I like the position my channel is in now, and I'm really wanting to know how it'll look going forward. Before the video ends, I'd like to give some special thanks to people that have helped me in my journey through YouTube and just along the way in my creative field. So please go and send these people some love, because they really deserve it. Anyways, that'll be it from me. Peace out.
Do I have to? Alright. Skibbity toilet! Oh, God. The stuff I do for my friends, I swear.
Johnny. Welcome to my store. See ya. I'll still be here.